let's just sew whatever. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making the Scoops Ahoy tote from Dill Handmade. It looks so cute. So you can see here there is a slip pocket on this side, no pocket on this side. I made some modifications, just a little bit. The entire thing is interfaced with foam. I used a mid-weight vinyl for the exterior accents and just a regular luxe vinyl for the top and the bottom. They're all available on my website. You'll see I lowered the handles. I cut them to the size and the pattern, and I just felt like they were disproportionate. However, they were very useful at that size. So make them whatever size you like. But I did add the strap ends there. They are riveted on, and we've got the little D-ring attachment. While I'm making this, I say that the top seems a little wide for, again, functionality purposes. I'm like, what? But then I was like, oh yeah, we rivet the handles on, so you need it to be that high. Kathy knew, I didn't. So yeah, overall, I really think this is a fun pattern, great for beginners, and I hope you will sew it with me. Let's go ahead and get started on making the Scoops Ahoy bag from Dill Handmade. Really minimal hardware on this one. It's got a zippered closure, so we need 2 zippers, zipper closure, zipper pocket, 2 zippers. What are you doing here? You don't belong here. I am going to be using a D-ring as just a fun little accent on the strap, and then we need 4 strap ends, so I just have a pack here. All of the hardware is available on my website or other websites if you want to shop somewhere else. I've got my zipper tape, and then I've got all my pieces cut. I do not have any interfacing except for foam. We're going to try this out with foam. She does state in the pattern that I did not quite see that you want to cut all of your interfacing down by 1/2 inch, and I was like, okay. So if I were to make it again and I wanted to interface, I would probably cut out pieces for interfacing so that I wasn't wasting 1 inch of interfacing. So we've got our lining pieces, lining pocket. We've got an overlay in here somewhere. Yellow, where you at? There it is. I'll put that over there. So that's all my lining pieces, our zipper. We're gonna just work on the exterior for now, and then straps after. Because honestly, I'm pretty excited to piece these together. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited. All right, so I'm gonna work on our exterior slip pocket first. Just 1 slip pocket, and it's a 1/4 inch seam allowance, pretty much throughout the entire bag. So we're going to start there, and then, sorry, I'm like, I know I need to use pinking shears, but I'll just snip along the curve just to help that curve sit a little bit better. And then I'm rolling that seam flat. And now this is going to be up to you. You could have a little bit of fun with this if you used a solid color lining. You could like kind of pull that up a little bit if you've got enough lining extra on the bottom. Or you could cut it bigger than you need it to be and have like a little faux piping strip along the top there. But we're just going to top stitch along the top edge. I think I need to change my needle. Hearing some funny little noises, but that looks good. And now this is going to get basted on to one of our exterior pieces. And I'm just gonna see where it kind of looks better. Oh, that looks nice. And that does not, because my print is repeating a little strange. So we're gonna line that up. And you can sew things down if you want, but I'm not gonna worry about it. And then again, just kind of play with where your print is located. That one wasn't gonna be great. This one will. This one will, okay. This one has such a small repeat that I wanna be careful not to have like the same thing in a space that looks kind of strange. So 1/4 of an inch to put this together. Just going slow but surely. Line that up. All right. And then we're going to open that up and top stitch on the accent panel. Oh, it's so satisfying. Now Kathy carries a very large version in clear of this bag that I'm obsessed with. And I hope she'll release like an add-on or something, because I think it's so cute. So with this vinyl, I'm actually really loving the way it feels without any interfacing, so I'm pretty happy with my choice. This slip pocket is super cute. I'm gonna baste just along the bottom edge really quick at 1/8 of an inch. Just to close it off, and then we'll work on the other side. There's no slip pocket here. Kind of regretting that choice. It was really easy to do, but this is going to be a really quick bag. And these hair clips are much easier to use. They're available on my website. Or if you have a beauty supply shop you go to, that's where I used to get mine before I was like, ooh, rainbow? I would like rainbow. So I sourced them. Okay. And then we're just going to press this open. Top stitching on our accent, our side panel. All right, and then we're going to fold this in half to find the center, the bottom of the curve. And again, we have a quarter inch seam allowance on this, so you want to be very careful with your snips. Don't go too crazy in there. Okay, then we're going to grab our bottom curved panel. We'll snip. Lining up the bottom curve. and then the top edge. And you're just going to slowly clip that together, working your way up. And again, 1/4 inch. Okay. So cute. So then you're just going to top stitch along the bottom curve. Right. And then there's the top panel that goes over all that. And that goes on at, again, at 1/4 inch. And I'm going to top stitch on the accent panel through the bulk of that seam. Okay. And now that that is done, I'm going to grab one of my foam pieces. Now, foam is not mentioned in the pattern. It's just the choice that I am making to add. We're not going to fuse it or anything. I'm just going to lay that down. Okay. I'm just going to baste all the way around. And since I don't have any other interfacing, I'm okay with it being in my seams. And then I can add my name tag through the layers to help it stay together. There'll be no problem at all. And we can trim the excess away. And so we'll finish the other side, and then I'll decide where I want to add my name tag. It's so cute. I love that. All right. And really, once you've got the exterior kind of pieced together, it comes together pretty quick. I automatically want to default to a 3/8 inch seam allowance. I know, I can't do that. Okay. And then pressing that seam down. I wonder if I kind of pulled on something a little too much, and that's why it wants to like jut out like that. Or it could be because it's uninterfaced. Or I maybe stretched the vinyl a little bit. All right, we're just gonna flip this up the top stitch. And then I'll grab that foam. And then just to be consistent, I do place it with the fusible side up. So the fusible side has like a little bit of a grip. I am not fusing this though, so just keep that in mind. I don't know what to do about that. It's like bubbly. I think it'll be okay when the bag is finished, but it has a protrusion of sorts. So let's start along the bottom. There you go. So I think I'll add my name tag to the other side so that this one can just be, oh no, I'll do it up here. That shouldn't be a problem. Cut away my excess foam, especially in the corners. And I'm using nickel. I'm so used to using light gold with this color palette that I was like truly about to grab light gold. I was like, wait, no. Okay, so we're gonna find the center there. Dang, okay. I'll fold to find the center. Okay, there's the center. Half, half, one. Okay. Yes, I feel confident in my selection. Calm down. Is that a bulge in your bag, or are you just excited to see me? My goodness. Okay. No, it's a bulge. And I'm just kind of eyeballing to make sure it looks centered before I press that down all the way. And that'll kind of help keep everything together. But now we can line these up right sides together. Take really good care to line up your top accent strip. And we'll kind of work our way down to the bottom. Should be good. Oh, it would be fun to sew across the bottom first and then open in like top stitch, but I'm not doing that. All right, I'm gonna increase to 3/8 of an inch on my exterior, and then I'll just make sure I do the same with my lining. I just feel a little safer, especially with that foam. And then we're going to square the bottom. And this, you really want to make sure that you're bringing those corners together. Don't like do it like that. Make sure it's nice and flat. Press down, and then I'm going to do that same 3/8. I think this is fun with foam. I think next time, maybe cut 1/2 inch off the foam so it's not in the top seam, so that we have a little more room for when we go to top stitch the bag. But so far so cute. Let's move on to our lining. Oh, straps. Yes, these are very long straps. It's probably good. I don't really show it in the photo. Do they? Does she? I guess that's good though. You want a nice length. But if you want more of a grab handle arm crook size, you could cut this to like 24. All right, just gonna fold that in. I like to start at the center, and I am doing double-sided straps. These are strap option A. We're just going to work on one strap at a time. While I'm taping this one, just going to add a 1/4 inch strip over where I've taped, just in hopes it doesn't come open. And this vinyl is a little bit thinner, so it won't be as likely to come undone. That's why it's my favorite. And what's nice is like I can make this whole strap. We're using strap ends. So if I finish the bag and I decide the strap is a little too long, I can cut it down, add my strap ends, and then rivet it on the bag. So you can do the same if you're like, not my favorite length. Well, just lop it off a little bit. Be okay in the end. All right, there's that. And we're going to line this up the center. I'm eyeballing it, but if you don't want to eyeball it, you could probably measure just to be safe. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. All right. And I'm still going to top stitch across the bottom of the strap just to keep it contained. But technically you don't have to because we're adding strap ends. Just make sure you secure your stitches somehow. And now that we're done with one, we have to do the other. Yeah, I feel like this vinyl has just like the slightest bit of stretch to it. It's okay. It is absolutely beautiful vinyl. Okay. And so in the lining, all we have going on is a zipper panel and a zipper pocket, but you could definitely add slip pockets very easily to it to give it a little extra use on the inside. I am going to leave the lining open completely at the bottom and then sew the lining shut through the zipper pocket. Hold on. Okay. Got that done. And now adding the next one. Man, I was hoping to get another bag done today, but might have to wait till tomorrow night because I'm getting tired. It's okay though, I can read up on how to make it before I go to bed. If I don't scroll mindlessly. All right, top stitch. Do the top stitch. Okay. So pretty. Okay. Zipper panel. Not yet. Zipper overlay. Yes. Okay. So we're going to cut our zipper for the zipper pocket a couple inches longer than needed. And then for the recessed zipper, that looks good. Oh, okay. Zipper pulls on. I was like, well, where are they? What zipper pulls? And you can choose to do your zipper closure on the bag without a pull. You can also make this bag without a zipper closure. You can just use a magnetic snap if you'd like. I'm going to do it my way for the zipper pocket, just because I want to. I'm sewing my zipper on, face up, with my lining face up. And then top stitching that flat. And then I repeat that on the other side. You don't have to though. You could attach this one and leave it flat. I'm struggling with that because waterproof canvas sits so much thicker, so it's really gonna bulge against. So fine, I won't. So we'll leave it, well, I've already well, I could take my zipper pull off. Or my zipper could just go in the other direction. It's not the end of the world. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna have my zipper go in the other direction. It's gonna mess me up, I bet you. But it's okay, let's experiment. Take chances. I sounded like Mickey Mouse, but I was going for Miss Frizzle. So we got the center of the lining. I'm gonna measure a little bit down. I had already applied double-sided tape to my overlay, so I'm just gonna peel that away. Okay. And then center. Oh my gosh, this is the tiniest overlay in the world. I'm gonna put my little signature tag. So fancy. Right there. Okay. So we're gonna sew all the way around the outside edge. We're going to cut through the excess. And again, this is a very tiny overlay, so just be careful. All right, so now what we want to do is we're going to tape this into place. I know, my pull's going in the wrong direction. It's going to be fine. We're going to tape it first into place, and then I'm going to pull the top piece up and out of the way, and we're just going to stitch across the bottom. Okay. Taped into place. Pull the top away. Sew across the bottom. And I am backstitching because it's not that serious. Okay, so now we're going to start on this side. Normally your zipper pull would be over here. I'm going to start down there, backstitch, come up top, and so it'll sit nice and flat. We've gone most of the way. There we go. And then we'll bring the zipper pull in. Give yourself a little more room if your zipper is bigger than the normal. Or if it's a bigger zipper pull, I should say. Okay. All right. Really cutting it close there. My goodness. All right, and I'm going to trim these to be the same size. You good? No, I'm tired. It's okay. People will be like, then go to bed. Like, I have to work. I'm sorry. Okay, so then we're going to sew this shut on the sides, but not the bottom, because we're going to turn the bag and sew it shut through that hole. So I'm just moving my lining out of the way and sewing through the lining layers to shut this. Both layers would be best. That's fine. It's good. Okay, so now our zipper. So we're going to prep our zipper tape by folding this down to match the finished edge of the zipper. And you can sew this shut when my hands work. There we go. I'll use my lighter just to fuse that together. And you don't need it to hold for very long, so you don't have to be super quick. And then on one side of this, we're going to be measuring 1/2 inch. One side of all 4 pieces, 1/2 inch. And we're going to add double-sided tape to that side. You don't want to use more than 1/4 inch. Okay. And then on the other side, okay, we're going to fold that up. Sorry, she makes her zipper way different than I'm used to, so my brain's like, what? What are we doing? Huh? All right. So that is going to be our finished edge. And now we can add our double-sided tape here. But the zipper is going to start 1/2 inch in. I bought that pretty good, if I do say so myself. Okay. So one end of the zipper, it's just going to lay right up against that. And then try not to pull on your zipper. Just set it nicely into place. And then that folded edge is going to be the same side there. And then I'll unclip this and unzip the zipper. We're going to start sewing over here at 1/4 inch. And then we're going to pivot here at 1/4 as well. And then cut across the corner and turn that. And then I'll kind of zip that and get everything sitting just right. If you need to turn out this corner a little better, you can take your screwdriver or something. Just really gentle. Don't pop your stitches or anything. And then I'm going to sew across this open end first. I feel like everything will kind of sit nicer. Bring in my threads. Okay, pretty good. Now we're going to repeat on this side. This is not my favorite method, but that doesn't make it a bad one. I'm just so used to what I'm used to. So there's my open edge, and then we're going to measure 1/2 inch. It's either going to be there or there. There. Not there. A little tape across that. And that. So the finished edge will be together, and then this is where this starts. And then we can unzip it once we've got it taped. Okay. And then on this side, I'll be able to start at the quarter here and then pivot to the quarter. And cut the excess away. Poke out that corner. Okay, and then I find this to be easier when you zip it. Your zipper tape is a little bit stronger. Okay. And then you're going to top stitch around the entire thing. Alrighty. Find the center there. It's the one downside to having your zipper or your scissors up there. Okay. And then to keep it consistent, I'm going to have the zipper zipping shut in the same direction. And we're just in the twilight zone today. Okay, you can baste that into place if you want. And then we're going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I think honestly I wouldn't have such a high top band, but it does keep it consistent with the exterior panel. Okay, I just defaulted to 3/8, but that's okay because I want my lining to be a little bit shorter. And then, I don't think it really matters, but let's check if she has you stitch under or above. Okay, she has you top stitch above. Fold that down. There's quite a bit of excess with the foam, so I just want to make sure I've got enough room. Okay, I can't help it. I'm going to add a tag. Dang it. And I was going to make one more tonight. I can't. This one says made with sunshine and rainbows, and I just love it so much. So I'll go ahead and try the glue thing again. I think the one downside is like you get glue residue there. So you gotta move slow so that it sticks. Don't go backwards. Some materials doesn't work great on. I got some glue on there though. Double-sided tape is probably faster. And I should probably shut it. It's fun, try new things. And like it still sticks. All right. So this one has a little guideline you can stitch in if you want, but you don't have to. Also, this is from Sewing Blurbs. Okay, that was fun. I didn't do great, but it's okay. So So lining up the center. And then it's supposed to be a quarter. I'm going to do a consistent 3/8, just so my lining is a little bit smaller than the exterior. And then we'll just flatten that, top stitch it down. And then I'll clip the end here, just so later we can put that together. Okay, we are going to sew the sides together, but we're going to leave the bottom open. Goodness, what's going on there? It's okay. We're going to start at a half. Nope, we're going to start 3/8 and increase to a half. Again, that is not part of the pattern, that is my own change, because I sewed the exterior at 3/8. Three-eighths, slowly increase to half. And I'm going to trim just the lower lining. Again, we have so much foam, which is my choice. All right, so we're going to flip this, unzip our zipper. We're going to put this inside the exterior. And then I usually do the zipper pocket on the back of the bag. So I'm going to do it on the same side as the slip pocket, because I just decided that was my exterior, I guess. We're going to press open the side seam. Alrighty, and then she says to do a quarter. I'm gonna do a 3/8 because in the end it's not gonna make a huge difference, and I'm just more comfortable with a 3/8. Okay, just making sure my top stitch is below the basting stitch, and it is good. Take a little victory sip. I was like, oh no, it's empty. All right. So because we left that opening in the bottom of the tote, this is going to be a breeze to pull through. Just going to start with what's furthest away, and the rest of it just like falls right out. Super quick. And in the pattern, she says if you want like a sturdier base, you can add another little strip into your lining of Decaville Heavy. But I think I really like it with the foam. It's nice. It's great. All right, now we want to turn our pocket right side out. And we're going to pull the lining back through. And just make sure we can see all those layers. You've got your corner pieces. Line up that bottom edge. We're going to do that 3/8 inch. And then square the bottom. Just open that up. And 3/8. Well, actually, probably a half, but it's not going to make too big of a difference because we've already made it a little bit shorter. So those corners won't be too bad. So now we can stick that back in. Line everything up. Looks like a mess right now, but we're gonna get there. Don't worry. That top edge is going to get folded in, and we'll just slowly start clipping and rolling. And then we will close up the turn hole in the lining. I just want to make sure that everything fits well. It does. Just feel like the side panels are kind of sitting weird. All right, let's zip it. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the zipper panel is just too low. I think it's nice that it's equal to the other side, but since it's a pattern that you cut at, I would do like 1.5 inches so that your zipper closure's right up top and you have a little more room in your bag. Because even the zipper panel, if you were to shove this bag full, well, I guess the zipper panel can sit up high enough, but it just kind of bunches weird. So that would be my biggest, like, change. Okay. I'm going to close this zipper pocket. So I kind of pull it to shut it and clip it. And then I'll close it. But I'm going to add made by an anxious bag maker. Why not? All this caffeine's got me feeling anxious. And I like to add it way off to the side, because if I were to add it to the center, it might not be perfectly centered. So I'm of the mindset, like, just move it way out there then. Don't even try it to center it. Okay. I get it. I get why it's so low. It's because you have to rivet the handles on. So, okay. I get it. There it went. My poor fingernails. But I really love it with the foam. I think it's nice. It omitted the need for any other interfacing, which I think is fantastic. So since I used foam, it's a little bit puffier, a little thicker. So I increased my seam allowance just a little bit. We're just going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Okay. So we have our zipper end fabric. I imagine we're just going to kind of fold around the end, cut the excess off. Because honestly, I'm cool with that. You could probably fold it in fancy, but I just don't want to add bulk. I feel like it's a pretty simple tote. Doesn't need anything crazy. Alrighty. I think if you wanted to make this as a crossbody, you could add little bridge connectors to the side, or those rivet D-rings. What does she call them? Nicole from Sonar uses them, but you could just rivet those on the side, kind of bend them, arch connectors, something. I think that would be really cool. But right now, I'm trimming the edge of the strap. Make it even. We are going to be adding yeah, they're just so long. It makes sense though. I'm just like, whew. So you would add your zipper end, and that gets kind of laid over, and then you center it over that side panel and rivet it on in 2 places, which is why the top zipper panel is so long. I think right now I'm just going to clip these in place. Give myself some time before I decide. Because technically too, if you wanted, you could have sewn them around the top, but the bulk, I don't know, I'm just like, they're so long. Proportionally, I hate it. But functionality wise, I understand. It's just my own like proportion size. And now for me, proportionally, I think the handle should be about that. But functionality wise, not as nice. Yeah, that's super cute. I almost don't hate the little dangle off of it either. Like, oh, it's unplugged. Makes sense. So I might like proportion it to dangle off like the Charlotte City tote from Swoon did. I think I like it. It's cute. And again, it's now not going to fit around your shoulder like the original would have. but it's really cute. Again, there's nothing wrong with the handles as they were. I'm sorry, Kathy, if I made it sound like there was. They're just longer than I like. That's okay. So yeah, I think that'll be fun. We'll still add our zipper end to the end, but now I can add 2 rivets. We can still add our D-ring because I think that's a really cute addition as well. I don't know. I think I'm going to add it to the back side. I love the idea of it kind of being here. And then if you hang something off of it, you could also like tuck it into that little pocket. I think that would be really fun. And then I can clip it like that. So we're going to add 2 rivets there, and then our strap ends. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. I will show you how to add the strap end before I end the video. So they come in a pack of 4 and you'll have 8 screws. I always recommend having a magnet nearby to put your screws on so you don't lose them, because we don't have extra. Okay. Well, if you're going to tell people to do it, do it. Okay. And so one of these is going to get clamped onto the end. You can add glue here if you want. And then I like to hold it upside down like that. And then if you have a little seam ripper with a pointy end or a stiletto, pre-poke that hole is very helpful. Pre-poking that hole is very helpful. And then I use an electric screwdriver, but you don't have to. And then just go slow and make sure things stay lined up. You can use a little bit of Loctite as well. But that is it. I have not added strap ends in quite some time, but I think that's really cute. I like it. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out with me while I made this. I hope you will check out this pattern, and I will see you later. Bye.